interaction than the other person. And don't think about it in terms of hierarchy and status, but detachment is leverage every time. So if you're desperate for something, they're going to smell it. And number 6 is dress like an authority. So your clothes should signal some kind of respect for yourself, not some kind of teenage rebellion where you need to wear brands and stuff like that all over your body. You don't need to be expensive. You just need to be a lot more intentional about what you're doing. Number 7 is own the frame of the interaction. So whoever defines what this interaction means is controlling the entire room. That doesn't mean I'm being domineering. It just means that I believe in what's going on more than they do. And my quiet and calm perspective is going to quietly win. No matter how much they object or resist, I don't exit my frame ever. So it's not that I'm getting them to adopt mine. It's about you not exiting yours. That's the biggest piece right there. And next is use silence as a weapon. So pausing makes people uncomfortable, and they're typically going to reveal themselves to create a little closure in that gap. And I would say using that without hierarchy and status is the best way to do that. Number 9 is smile less. Smile less, but freaking mean it when you do. Do it when you genuinely mean it, instead of using a smile as a tactic or a tool to like I need to get someone to like me for some reason. That's performative, and it should make you feel fake. If it doesn't make you feel fake, then maybe there's some other work you got to do. So genuine smiles feel magnetic to us. So next is ask more than you tell. So good questions lead people better than a whole bunch of long.
A man or a woman is attracted to you?
There's a few different cues that we show. Number 1 that's kind of universal is called ventral orientation. This is when you see shoulders kind of pointing towards the person that a person is attracted to, even if it's a little bit slight, even if their head stays on, like they're sitting at dinner with their friends, but they're kind of orient themselves a little bit more toward this person. So when it comes to ventral orientation, we're looking at where the shoulders are kind of directing the body. And that's what we're really seeing. For both sexes, pupil dilation is one of the biggest. And there were studies done on this. And even Revlon Makeup Company used these studies to sell more makeup. But our pupils will dilate when we are physically attracted to someone. But it also endears us to people. We're more attracted to people with larger pupils. This is why if you look at a baby, I have an 18-month-old baby. Her name's Hannah. And when she looks at a random grown-up, like the lady dropping off our mail who comes like at 4 o'clock every day, her eyes do nothing. But she looks at me or she looks at mom and they get really big. And this is something that we've evolved to do to gain connection and to kind of release oxytocin in someone else's brain. So another big one that's done by both sexes is the exposure of arteries. And this is typically like we have the brachial artery here. So like if somebody's like sitting here like this, we cover up our arteries when we are scared. So any kind of fear makes our arteries get covered up by bones. How am I putting bones in front of arteries? So we might see this like turtling behavior here where the shoulders are protecting the carotid artery. The humerus bone right here like squeezes in toward the torso to protect this brachial artery that we have down here. Or someone kind of lowers their posture down. So like if you're watching right now and you put your hands, or Francesca, you could do this too. Okay. You put your hands like on your belly where you can feel your ribs and just kind of lowering the posture. Like if I just lower my posture a little bit, I'm bringing bone in front of soft tissue. But there's also a big artery right here. Human authority is composed of 5 factors. This is confidence, number 1, And these are in order, the most important to least important: confidence, discipline, leadership, not title, leadership, gratitude, and enjoyment. Gratitude is in there, and a lot of people don't expect that. But this is our generalized positivity. Like, things are generally going to be okay and things are going to work out. So that confidence is walking that line of those three things we talk about: safety, I'm not performing, everything's going to be okay. Discipline is very easy. Everybody talks about, you'll see these like 5-hour lectures on discipline and stuff. All discipline is can I prioritize my future self over right now? As if that was true, I wouldn't have a problem going to the gym. I wouldn't buy that stupid crap on Amazon at 11 at night when I'm scrolling through and binge purchasing things. I wouldn't eat that 15th piece of cheesecake because I'm prioritizing me tomorrow, me in a year from now. So discipline is, can we prioritize our future self? And then we have leadership. This is, do we have certainty in our thought and action? And it doesn't have to be super fast. It doesn't have to be super informed about what's going on. And it doesn't even have to be competent, because you hear so many people say, well, I'm not really educated on this. How are people going to follow me? If you watch the movie Catch Me If You Can, this is about a con man. And it's about, it's a true story about this guy named Frank Abagnale. And he doesn't know how to fly a plane at all. But he convinces everybody that he is the pilot, like he is a pilot. So it's the certainty of self. It's not the certainty that he's a pilot. It's certainty of self. Because if he sat behind the sticks and somebody said, oh, hey, you need to take over here, he would crash the plane most likely. So confidence and leadership do not have to correlate and connect somehow with competence. They do not have to connect. So that's good news for most people. And then we have gratitude. And what I mean by gratitude is gratitude with perspective. And can you feel gratitude without, you don't need to keep a little velvet journal from Amazon or any of these little like apps where you have to write down these little gratitude things every day. But can I feel gratitude from zoomed in and zoomed out on what's going on? The zoomed in on our life might mean I'm grateful for this family, and I'm grateful I saw the doctor yesterday and they gave me this medicine or whatever. Talked about all those qualities of authority. You will get a gut feeling that something's off.
Mm.
And when it comes down to authority, like, does that person do the same off camera as they are right here? If you're talking to someone who's way different when they're off camera, when nobody's paying attention, you're going to feel that, especially women, because women have way more ability to do that than men do. And I will give you one rule of thumb for everybody watching this, women and men. If you have a conversation with somebody that feels just like effing awesome, like during the conversation, you feel like you're on cloud nine, everything's going great, and you're like, wow, they know me so well, they understand me so well. And the moment that conversation is over, you feel bad.
Mm.
That was a person weaponizing your dopamine and not your oxytocin, not your natural connection. So now you're experiencing a dopamine crash instead of an oxytocin flow where it might flow down over time.
That is so interesting. And I never thought about it like that, because usually with obsession, with romantic obsession, all these things, it's like dopamine that's at play, right? They're playing with your dopaminergic system. Whereas in healthy connection, it's like the oxytocin is involved and some other chemicals that are more like long term. So that's brilliant.
So yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. I talked to my daughter while she's growing up, is just like, you don't need to buy. They have all these apps. You can spend $1 million on some AI. You have way more advanced equipment built into your body. Like, the modern science can't even make blood. We can't even make a blood cell. So like stop relying on tech. You have all the stuff that you need right here. Like, if I'm done with the conversation and I feel like crap, something should set off every alarm bell in your entire head.
Absolutely. Such a good piece of advice. And